What's going on, everybody? Matt back again, this time for another college football ranking. Let's go ahead and throw up the Week 7 ranking. Uh, Starting from the top at Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, LSU, Georgia, Florida, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State, and Wake Forest. Clemson played Florida State and blew them out, just like I predicted. Um, I think Clemson's going to play much better this back half of the season. They don't have anybody left except really us as the very last game of the season before their championship game. Let's see, number 2, Alabama played A&M, blew them out. I think everyone kind of expected that, the way A&M's kind of been a little above average, but not as good as everyone thought they would be. Oklahoma, Texas, that game would have been a lot better if Texas could have tackled. I was surprised by that. I wasn't able to watch the game because we played Georgia, obviously, which I'm about to talk about in a little bit, at the same time as the Texas-Oklahoma game. But yeah, from the highlights I saw, Texas can't tackle worth a shit. So Oklahoma moves on. LSU played Florida. This was a really entertaining game. Um, Florida, their first half offense was really surprising. I felt like every time I blinked, they were in the red zone about to score. But LSU pretty much shut them out the second half. Florida scored on their first drive in the second half and then didn't score another point. But that was a pretty entertaining game. Florida's a little better than I thought, but LSU moves on. Okay, and let's see, number 5, I have Georgia. So let's talk about this game. I had a good feeling about it. South Carolina was coming off a bye week, and I always like to play on the road at noon. I feel like I feel like that's the best option for the away team. But and that's why I'm not happy that our Florida game this week is at noon. But yeah, our defense played extremely well. Jake Fromm passed for like 50 passes and completed like 20 something, I think. Um, I don't feel like the media is giving us enough credit for how we played. They keep talking about how poorly Georgia played. Well, some of that was them, some of that was us playing well. Jake Fromm's first 2 picks were because of us. We pressured him into throwing a ball that he thought was going out of bounds, and then Mukwamu, our corner, took a really athletic move to get that ball and take it for the touchdown. And then the second interception, he also made another good athletic interception with his fingertips to get the ball. But then the last 2 were on Georgia with Jake Fromm and the center fumbling it at the snap, and then obviously the third interception by Mukwamu in overtime where he hit his receiver right in the face where he needed to. But then you have to give Mukwamu credit again for making the athletic catch. It's always good to have a corner with good hands. But yeah, it was really good defensive play. Hard to talk about our offense because we lost our quarterback in the beginning of the third quarter and then brought in our third string, who's basically our second string for right now. He played very well. He was smart and confident with the ball. If he ever saw open space, he would run it instead of throwing it. That was very good to see from Dakereon Joyner. But yeah, won in overtime, and obviously shook up the rankings, which is always fun, especially if you're the team that's winning the game to do it. Moving on, Florida, LSU, I just talked about it, and then Ohio State had a bye. Wisconsin played Michigan State, beat Michigan State worse than Ohio State did, or better than Ohio State did. So very much looking forward to the Ohio State-Wisconsin game this year, just like everyone else. That's where we really get to see what these 2 teams are made of. Penn State played Iowa. It was a good game. Some interceptions and turnovers by Iowa really cost them that game. Penn State plays Ohio State, I believe. No, in a couple weeks. But yeah, that was a good game. Penn State went on to win 17-6 or something, 17-13 or something like that. that Iowa receiver made that incredible catch for that touchdown. Okay, coming at number 10, I had Wake Forest, who did finally lose their first game to Louisville. So they are, surprise, surprise, going to be out of the my top 10. Okay, moving on to my rankings for Week 8. Coming in at number 10, I have Boise State, who is still undefeated. They play at BYU. This will probably be their first loss. If you haven't watched my rankings before, I value wins the most, which makes for a more entertaining top ranking in my opinion because people are constantly coming in and out. So Boise State at 10. At 9, I have Minnesota, who is still undefeated, playing in the Big Ten, I believe. And they're at Rutgers. They could win that game. Rutgers is never really that good. They could maintain their undefeated season so far with that game at Rutgers. And then Baylor I have at number 8. Also undefeated, play in the Big 12. But they play at Oklahoma State this weekend. I don't expect them to win that game. They've had a pretty easy schedule so far. Almost lost a couple games on that easy schedule. So I predict them to lose to Oklahoma State this weekend and get their first loss. And then coming in at number 7, I have Penn State. They have a home game against Michigan. It's the whiteout. I expect Penn State to win. Michigan has not looked good against elite teams. Just look at their game against Wisconsin. They got blown out. But Penn State so far is undefeated. Once again, Michigan has to travel on the road like they did with Wisconsin. This too could be a blowout, but I predict Penn State to win, but it won't be as bad of a game as that Wisconsin game, I don't think, because Michigan, not after that beatdown, they have to get their shit together. Coming in at number 6 is Wisconsin. Play at Illinois. No need to really talk about this game. They should easily win that game. And then coming in at number 5, Ohio State at Northwestern. Same situation. Ohio State and Wisconsin play next week, I believe. And so these are both warm-up games for that big matchup next week. And then coming in at number 4, I have LSU. They play at Mississippi State. Some people would want to call this a trap game because it's the week after the big Florida game, but I believe LSU is too focused. Joe Burrow is too focused that they're just going to continue on their winning streak and just probably blow out Mississippi State. If Auburn can do it, LSU can do it. Oklahoma, they have West Virginia at home, coming off the big win of the Texas game. Could be a letdown after a big victory, but it's at home. I expect them just to mow over their opponent as well. I can't place his name at the moment, but the player that came from Alabama and starting for Oklahoma, similar to Burrow, I believe he's also too focused to allow any kind of letdown after a big victory. And then coming at number 2, Alabama has Tennessee at home. They finally get a night game. This game I'm only looking forward to because Tennessee's head coach said that they were going to go for it on every 4th down and onside kick a lot. So it could be entertaining. They can onside kick a lot, and Alabama could just run the score up to like a ridiculous amount. You don't know what's going to happen, but obviously I'm predicting Alabama to win that game. Okay, coming in at number 1, obviously, is Clemson. They are at Louisville. I expect them to continue their winning streak. I believe they flipped a switch with that bye week. Everyone kept talking about how underwhelming they were and overrated they are. They beat down Florida State last week, and I believe they're just going to roll on until they play the Gamecocks in Columbia November 28th or 29th. But yeah, that's my ranking for Week 8. If you agree with me, disagree with me, if I missed anything huge, let me know in the comments below. Please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell for future videos, and y'all have a good one.